With tail fins like jet wings, a body stretching nearly 20 feet, and chrome from bumper to bumper, the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz rolls down the street like a spaceship straight out of Hollywood. At a time when America was riding high on post-war prosperity, Cadillac wasn't trying to build just another luxury car. They wanted to create a symbol of power and unrestrained opulence. The Eldorado Biarritz was born to do exactly that, and it did it so well that 65 years later, people still call it the craziest American car ever made legal. But what made it worthy of that crown? Why is it the very definition of the term too luxurious? And why, even today, do those who've driven Rolls-Royces or Ferraris still tip their hat to this Cadillac? Let's dive into 10 reasons why the 1959 Eldorado Biarritz remains a once-in-a-lifetime icon in American automotive history. Number 1. The tallest tailfins in automotive history. If there's one feature that instantly identifies the Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, it's those towering tailfins, rising like rocket wings from the rear deck. Measuring a dramatic 42 inches tall, over a meter, these are the tallest tail fins ever fitted to a production car. They were the ultimate expression of the jet-age design craze that defined American cars in the 1950s. The inspiration came from a unique cultural moment, an era when America was obsessed with aerospace, missiles, and the space race. Tailfins symbolized progress, futurism, and Cadillac didn't just want to follow the trend, it wanted to lead it. The Eldorado Biarritz looked less like a car and more like it was ready for liftoff. But behind the dramatic styling was a bold product philosophy. Cadillac wasn't just selling cars, they were selling status, power, and the American dream. One glance at those fins and you knew the driver wasn't just anyone. This was visual dominance, arguably the boldest statement any American car has ever made. Today, those tailfins are legend. Whether in private collections or museum galleries, everyone recognizes the Eldorado wings. Number 2. Automatic air suspension system. In 1959, while most American cars still relied on traditional leaf springs or coil setups, the Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz elevated itself with a rare and cutting-edge feature: automatic air suspension. Instead of steel springs, the Eldorado used air bladders at all four corners, paired with a compressor and pressure distribution system that kept the ride height perfectly level, no matter how many passengers or how much cargo it carried. This meant the car didn't just drive, it glided. Even under load, the rear end didn't sag. The look was always regal. The feel, even better. In practice, riding in the back seat felt like flying. Road imperfections, potholes, and bumps were nearly erased. Cadillac proudly called it the magic carpet ride, and they weren't exaggerating. Few cars since have matched that sensation. However, the system wasn't flawless. Air leaks were common, repairs were expensive, and many owners eventually swapped in traditional suspension. But that only made surviving original setups more valuable. Number 3. A cabin as luxurious as a 5-star living room. From the outside, the 1959 Eldorado Biarritz is a chrome-plated spaceship. But step inside, and it feels like the rolling lounge of a 5-star hotel, where every inch radiates luxury, precision, and unapologetic opulence. The seats are wrapped in premium real leather, hand-stitched and color-coordinated with brushed aluminum trim, gleaming chrome accents, and a dashboard that looks like an airplane cockpit. The steering wheel tilts. The rearview mirror has a built-in anti-glare function. And yes, there's air conditioning, a rare and elite feature in 1959, keeping the cabin climate-controlled like a high-end salon. All the windows are power-operated, fully automatic. Even the radio antenna silently rises and retracts with the twist of a knob. The front bench seat, six-way power adjustable, letting you find the perfect royal throne angle with just one touch. The dashboard wasn't laid out by necessity, it was choreographed like a visual performance. Every switch, dial, and light was placed with an eye for aesthetic balance. And yes, it included a mechanical analog clock, because true luxury demands a touch of nostalgic class. Number 4. Fuel consumption. Not for the faint of heart. If you're wondering how fuel-efficient the 1959 Eldorado Biarritz is, the answer is simple. It absolutely didn't care about fuel economy. Under that battleship-length hood sits a 390 cubic inch V8, a massive engine delivering 345 horsepower and enough torque to glide effortlessly at any speed. Paired with a 4-speed hydromatic automatic transmission, it moved this 5,000-plus pound over 2.3-ton land yacht with velvet smoothness. But the cost? An average of 8 to 10 miles per gallon, roughly 23 to 29 liters per 100 kilometers. Yes, you read that right. And if you stomped on the gas or climbed a long hill, it only got worse. But back then, gas was just pennies per gallon, and Cadillac owners weren't counting drops. They paid for silence during acceleration, for the kind of smoothness that wouldn't even spill your coffee, and for the quiet dominance that came with every throttle press. The Eldorado never apologized for its appetite. In fact, it declared, "I'm big, I'm powerful, and I'm not ashamed of it." Number 5. Extremely limited production. Only 1,320 built. While other 1959 Cadillacs were produced in the tens of thousands, the Eldorado Biarritz stood apart as something far more exclusive. Just 1,320 units were built that entire year, making it one of the rarest Cadillacs ever made. The reason wasn't a lack of manufacturing capacity, it was intentional. The Eldorado Biarritz wasn't meant for the masses. It was a halo car, a brand flagship built to showcase Cadillac's ultimate prestige. Each Biarritz was almost a hand-finished masterpiece, assembled with greater attention to detail than any standard Cadillac. They were built on separate lines, underwent stricter inspections, and often featured options available only to VIP clients. Its sticker price? Over $7,400 in 1959, nearly twice the cost of a Chevrolet Bel Air of the same year, equal to more than $80,000 today, not including taxes or personalization. This rare blend of daring design, cutting-edge technology, and limited availability has made the 1959 Eldorado Biarritz priceless among collectors. Number 6. Fully electrified. In 1959, power windows or seats were still considered luxuries, but for the Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, these features weren't just available, they were standard. Everything was electrically powered: the windows, seats, radio antenna, and even the trunk lid. The front bench seat was 6-way power adjustable: forward, back, up, down, and tilt, something many luxury cars of the 1970s still lacked. The automatic radio antenna was a small but stunning touch. Every time you turned on the radio, the antenna gracefully extended from the fender and retracted just as smoothly when turned off. It wasn't just functional, it was stylish. Even the trunk lid came with electric assist, a sci-fi feature for its time. Add in automatic headlights, an independent climate control system, and individual reading lamps for each row, and the Eldorado becomes a true mid-century smart car, decades ahead of its time. Number 7. More chrome than any other car of its time. If sunlight hits a Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, you'd better be wearing sunglasses, because the amount of chrome on this car could light up an entire block. From the massive front bumper, sculpted fender edges, dagger-like grille, and sweeping side moldings to the door handles, rear accents, wheel covers, and even the radio antenna frame and side mirrors. Almost every exterior detail was bathed in chrome. No surface was too small for Cadillac's obsession with shine. The total chrome coverage on a 1959 Eldorado is estimated to be greater than any other mass-produced car of its era, surpassing even Buick and Lincoln, which were no strangers to sparkle. But this wasn't just for show. At the time, chrome was a status symbol, a gleaming testament to wealth, modernity, and manufacturing prowess. The more chrome you had, the more successful you appeared. What's even more impressive is that all that chrome was hand-fitted and polished, expected to retain its luster over decades. That's why today, a Biarritz with original chrome in excellent condition is highly prized among collectors. Number 8. Twin rocket taillights and 4-headlamp front end. If the Eldorado Biarritz's tail fins are wings, then its twin rocket taillights are the jet engines of this American spaceship. Each rear fin features 2 vertically mounted rocket-style lights shaped like fighter jet exhausts, a design that wasn't just eye-catching, but became a defining cultural icon of 1950s America. These weren't mere lights. They were sculptures of illumination. At night, with all 4 glowing red, the Eldorado looked ready to lift off. Up front, the car sported 4 round headlamps, a configuration newly legalized in the US starting in 1957. But Cadillac didn't just follow the rule. They turned it into an art form, framing the lamps in chrome bezels styled like falcon eyes, sharp, majestic, and commanding. Even more impressive, the entire lighting system, front and rear, was equipped with automatic activation via ambient light sensors, a futuristic innovation called Autronic Eye, practically unheard of in 1959. It's no exaggeration to say that lighting on the Eldorado wasn't just about visibility, it was about performance, identity, and spectacle. Number 9. The American Royalty. Driving experience. It was created to glide in utter silence and majestic presence, a land yacht in the truest sense. With its powerful 390 cubic inch V8, 4-speed, high-dramatic automatic transmission, and air suspension system, the Eldorado delivered what Americans then called a glide ride, a sensation where you didn't drive the car, you floated in it. The power steering was feather-light, so much so you could steer it with a single finger. The gas and brake pedals responded with buttery smoothness, making the experience feel more like conducting a symphony than piloting a 5,000-pound machine. Engine noise? Virtually none. Shut the door and you entered a private world, calm, isolated, and hushed. What's remarkable is that despite its size, the Eldorado felt easy to drive. That was Cadillac's goal, not to feel the road like a European sports car, but to completely remove you from it. Number 10. Timeless collectibility. More than 65 years later, the Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz isn't just a classic car, it has become a symbol of American cultural heritage and the burning dream of collectors around the globe. Its bold design, pioneering technology, extreme rarity, and iconic status in film and media have elevated it into legendary status. Whenever an original Eldorado Biarritz rolls onto the auction stage at Mecum or Barrett-Jackson, the crowd holds its breath. In good condition, one can fetch anywhere from $250,000 to over $500,000, depending on originality and specific details. like factory paint, rare options, and matching serial numbers. Especially prized are examples that retain their original air suspension and untouched chrome, the holy grails of mid-century American luxury. But the real value of the 1959 Eldorado isn't in the number. It's in the emotion it evokes, a reverence for the golden age of America, when luxury didn't need to apologize and Cadillac ruled the road as the undisputed king. Looking back, we see a time when America dared to dream big, to exaggerate everything, from styling to engineering, just to prove that there were no limits to luxury. Today, the Eldorado reminds us that cars were once art, personality, and the pride of an entire generation, not built to go faster, but to slow down, to savor every glance on the street, every wow whispered when it roars to life. If you admire that kind of beauty, drop us a comment. What's the most unforgettable detail about the Eldorado for you? And if you want to keep riding along on rare classic car journeys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another legend.